Hi guys, just as promised, we are going to jump into the Mayan civilization today. This is one of the the earliest and the most interesting civilizations in the Western Hemisphere. On Thursday and Friday, we're going to be doing an investigation on what happened to the Mayans because it's kind of mysterious. But first, we need to learn about the Mayans, okay? So, where did they live? Okay, they built their very complex culture around the year 300 BC in what is present day Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and Belize. It's going to be on the Yucatan Peninsula. They built many large cities, as many as 40, some say, such as Tikal, Copan, and Chichen Itza. Okay, Chichen Itza is still a very popular tourist destination where you can see Mayan ruins. Okay. So this is the Yucatan Peninsula. Okay, remember peninsula is a body of land that is surrounded on three sides by water. So this is the Yucatan Peninsula. So it's in the southern part of Mexico, but it also bleeds into what is present day Guatemala, Belize, and a little bit of Honduras and El Salvador a little bit too. Okay, so this is one of the largest civilizations and empires that we will study in the early Americas. They were extremely intelligent. Some people say they were the most intelligent out of all early civilizations. They developed a complex systems of government, education and religion, minus the human sacrifices. Yikes, right? Super glad that we don't have that now. But they did develop very complex system of government, education, and religion. Sometimes we like to think that present day is like the only time there have been complex governments or education or religion. That's just not true, guys. These early civilizations were very complex for their time. Their religion, they worshipped multiple gods, not just one. They believed that being good and goodness was rewarded and being bad was punished by the gods. A lot of the times their gods had different like responsibilities. Like there was the sun god and the maize, which is like corn god. So that would be like the god of crops, the death god. Okay, they believed that they could please the gods. But they believed they could also make the gods angry. Okay, and then they would be punished. So how did they survive and thrive for so long? They were excellent farmers, but they also built those complex culture, okay? So they had artists and scientists and historians. They were a complex culture, guys. Their farmers planted corn, beans, sweet potatoes, squash, and yucca for a very large population. They pulled huge stones from the earth to build monuments and pyramids that are still around today. So again, guys, they are very complex, okay? They made do with what they had and they survived. Mayan pyramids are some things that they're huge tourist destination in Central America. Each of the Mayan cities has at least one pyramid, some as high as 200 feet. Again, guys, I can't stress how complex of a culture this was. The fact that they could build these stone pyramids over up to 200 feet is insane without the help of any heavy machinery. It's awesome. The largest city, Tikal, in present day Guatemala, had 5 pyramids. They use this for religious purposes and other things, okay? So their social structure, the king was at the top. Then there was the nobles, which would be like the priests and the leading warriors, okay? After that, it would be the merchants, skilled, and teachers. And then the majority of the population, which were the peasants, the working class, fell on the bottom, okay? They believe that their kings were related to the gods. They believe that their upper class, the priests, the merchants, and the noble warriors were put there by the gods as well. And then the farming families were the majority of the population, guys, okay? So even though they were the lowest on the totem pole, they did have the majority of the population. They did. The Mayans traveled on roads that they cut through the jungle to barter, to trade. Okay, different goods. Their farmers took the produce to outdoor markets where they traded it for cotton cloth, pottery, flint, oyster shells, deer meat, and salt. Okay, so they did barter to make it through. They also had a lot of other businesses. The traders moved up and down the coast in canoes. They always had jade statues or turquoise jewelry, salt, chocolate. Yes, that's right, chocolate, spices, and other goods, okay? The area that they were in is rich in natural resources, and they were able to make a lot of things to trade. Now, the Great Mayan Mystery is what we're going to really focus on later this week, but around 900 AD, the Mayan civilization just disappeared, guys. Nobody knows why. Was it aliens? Experts believe that food shortages and wars caused the disappearance, but no one knows for sure. You guys are going to dive further into this Thursday and Friday, okay? Some accomplishments of the Mayans. They developed a very complex writing system. We have a lot of their history and artifacts because of this writing system. They also had a number system and a calendar. I mean, chocolate, hello. I might say that's their best accomplishment. I don't know about you guys. Their architecture was absolutely beautiful, okay, and way ahead of its time. For a civilization to be so advanced and then disappear, guys, it's crazy. What happened to them, right? They recorded their history on stone, okay? So they told stories of their history using different carvings. This was what their language looked like, guys, okay? How crazy is that? I would love to just know what things said in that. It's a beautiful language. They also had the number system, okay? So you can tell this was a representation of their numbers. They also had these higher numbers as well, okay? They were very skilled at math, which helped them create a calendar and record dates. Oops, sorry. This is what their calendar looked like, and why this looks like a beautiful just relic to us. This was their calendar. They are some of the first people that had a 365-day calendar. They figured that out, okay, way before many others did. They also had something called a ball game. It was to pass the ball around. You couldn't have it touch your hands. And then get the ball to pass through one of those rings. You can see it right here. Okay. Since the rings were so high, the players were not allowed to use their hands. It was extremely difficult to get it through. Okay. In fact, when a player did manage to get the ball through the ring, it usually just ended the game. The game ended otherwise when the ball touched the ground. A lot of times, guys, or this kind of reminds me of like soccer or football, kind of a mix of both. I think it's super interesting that this is where those games started. Okay. The winners of the game were treated as heroes and were given a feast. The penalty for losing the game was sometimes crazy death. Okay. The leader of the team who lost the game was sometimes killed. So again, their punishments were really, really harsh. Okay. The Mayan architecture, it's remarkable that they were able to build pyramids like this with heavy, heavy stone without the use of any machines. It's wild. Again, guys, I can't stress enough. They were before their times. They were very complex. Just take a look at some of these actual pyramids and buildings that still stand today that they created all those years ago. And that is it. We are going to dive further into the mystery of the Mayan people starting on Thursday and Friday. So get ready to figure out what happened to the Mayans.